thousands of years, since Marcus Aurelius. Okay, this is a huge deal for men. We got to be very careful about telling men to be emotional. This is a very dangerous thing, and that's why bad shit happens.
Okay, I'm gonna let her say what she wants to say because she asked if she could say something, but then I want you to come back to me because I didn't finish my sentence.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I don't think she was saying like emotional. I think you were taking it like too like analytical. I don't know, like logical. Like
literal.
Okay for
I was taking
men
it literal.
to be human. It's okay for them to be open, and like we create that safe space for them to be honest about how they feel and express how they feel. This isn't about emotional, like them crying or something, or them showing like
We can be emotional, but it's not around your woman. This is what's so confusing for women today. Y'all want a guy to be emotional with you. You want that,
emotional.
but
I
it's
think
not.
You're using a different word.
But
it's not emotional. It's called vulnerability.
You want them to be vulnerable, and here's the thing: men do not need to be vulnerable to their woman. They can be vulnerable to their friends. No, a woman cannot solve a man's problems. Okay,
this isn't about solving any problems.
Yes, it is, because here's the thing:
it's about creating a safe space for you to be human. We're two human people. This isn't about us trying to solve your problems or us trying to fix your emotions or trying to tell you like.
Okay, what do you want? Okay, give me an example then. How do you want your man to be? Give me an example of what you're talking about. A real life example of a man being vulnerable with you.
I would say someone who is being honest about how they feel, about where they're at in the season of their life.
So just honesty. A guy just being honest with you.
Yeah, honesty. That's
okay, but about what? Be specific. What do you want to be honest about? His emotions, his time at work? Like, what are you specifically talking about?
Everything.
His feelings. Okay, so y'all want him to be honest about how he feels. So
it doesn't have to have any like.
I need an exact example. I need an exact example of what you want a man to do to you, or like what you're talking about. You want him to come to you and be like, "Man, I'm just really sad today because this happened with my boss." What do you want? Give me a specific example.
Like I feel like with me, I've been with somebody who I would say is emotionally detached, and so it's like
you just don't want that.
Yeah, like with him, it's like sometimes he doesn't understand my emotions to a point where like even with him, he's closed off. Like I can't really read him. I can't tell when he's happy, when he's mad, when it's a good time to talk, when it's not. And I feel like maybe that's what they're saying as far as vulnerability. Like just let me know how you're feeling.
Well, there's two things going on here. There's a type of guy that no matter what y'all want is never going to give y'all that vulnerability, and it's because he's the type of guy that has so many girls, or he's such a fucking G. He really does not ever show or no emotions with any of them because he's just like, y'all are all the same to him. It's nothing. And then there's the type of guy who is actually like he's cut off because he has trauma, he has some damage, he has something like that. You still got to understand that any of those issues that he has, he should not come to you with them. He should go to his friends because it's something that needs to be solved. It is a problem. As somebody that went to therapy and had a good therapist and stuff, a man will help you solve these type of issues because it's usually financial. It's usually something that has to do with something that happened in the past. Your woman isn't going to be able to help you solve them. And it's just that, like it's usually something that another guy already has gone through and he can help me go through it. And that's why we go to men for advice. We should not go to a woman for advice. And like I said, it looks, and like, don't get me wrong, there's tons of women. I can tell you right now, I can cry to my girl. And like, so, and there's not a lot of guys that can do that. There's a lot of women that if they cried, their woman would literally break up with them. Now, y'all might not be those women. My girl's not one of them. Y'all might be an exception to the rule, but I'm not going to sit here and tell guys that they can ever do that or cry in front of their girl or anything, because there's a 51% chance that girl's going to fucking leave him.
And
so that's why it matters. Yeah. Yeah. Go.
So a lot just happened. There's a lot to unpack right here.
I get your perspective though.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack right here. So firstly, I understand what you're saying when you say that there are women who will leave a man for being emotional.
Too emotional.
Now, me personally, I am a woman. I'm not going to leave you, but we're going to have a serious talk if you're overly emotional.
Yeah.
Now, when I say overly emotional, like when I say I want a man to be vulnerable with me and be able to have his emotions with me, I don't want my man, when a woman is supposed to be your peace, right? So if you went out into the world all day, you went to work, you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? and then you come home and you feel like you can't talk to me about it, that is something that you have to bear completely on your own when you're laying next to me at night, when you could have just simply said, hey babe, this is what happened today, this is what's on my mind. Now you're right, I may not be able to fix every single problem that my man has, but I'll be able to give suggestions and I'll be able to give help, because at the end of the day, if I'm with you, I'm your partner. And when you have a partner, that is somebody you go to with your issues and your problems. That is the point of you being a partner. So men, if you're out there and you feel like you're overly emotional, since he wants me to talk to you, if you feel like you're overly emotional and you feel like you can't go to your woman, that's not a woman you need to be with, because that's not your partner. You need a partner with that. Like I'm the type of woman. You're right. When it comes to too emotional, if you come to me one day and you break down in tears, we're gonna sit there. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do what I can do to help you feel better in that moment. If you need to go to your homeboys afterwards, 100%, I understand. But there's also a lot of people who have homeboys. You're upset. Oh man, I went through this at work, and your homeboys laugh at you and make a joke about it. But if you come to me, I'm gonna say, well, damn, babe, let me see how I can help you figure this out. Because your homeboys are gonna make a joke before they try to help you. I'm gonna try to help you immediately. But at the end of the day, I am still the woman. You come to me and you break down and you cry, I'm like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. You come to me the next day, you break down, you cry, okay, we're gonna figure this out. Now, if you do that again for the next 10 days, we're gonna have to talk about something, because why do you keep crying? You're right.
And that's what's scary, is we don't want to encourage it, because that's what sometimes happens. It's like it turns into a habit. It's just like anything else in life. If you sit there and you think you can do something, you're comfortable doing it. Like he might think after the first couple times, all right, this is okay. And the next thing you know, he breaks it too far. He does it 3 or 4 days in a row, and you're officially not attractive to your woman anymore. You know, so it's just like, you got to be careful as a guy. And like I said, it might be the 51%. Y'all might be exceptions to the rules. But if I'm giving advice to men, I got to make sure that they don't fuck up and do that with the wrong woman, because then it's going to fuck them up. And like you said, like, that's not a woman for you. Man, that just means that woman might be super feminine, and like it's very hard to find super good feminine women today. So yeah, I don't want them ruining that, you know, like I definitely think it's a new age thing. Now, don't get me wrong, like everything that I'm talking about, biology and stuff, like there's another study that I looked at, and it likes to say that it's all the nature versus nurture debate, you know, like you would probably say a lot of shit is nurture, like we learn it from our environment, you know, and I'm very heavy on the nature side. I believe that a lot of stuff is genetically decided, you know, and if you look at studies, it shows that 60% is genetically decided for our life, 30% is based off our peer group, and 10% is based off our parents. That's what your life usually ends up after 40 or 50 years. That's kind of what determines shit, I guess you could say.
100%. Can I say 2 things really
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, you know what? One of the things I forgot, but the other thing that I was about to say, I saw a comment before it disappeared. There was a person on there. They said they hate the partner word. If you're in a relationship, you're in a team, and the man needs to be the coach as well as the captain. My thing with that is I understand where that person is coming from, but I disagree. Reason being, because at the end of the day, like, you want to say team? Okay, let's think about a team. Let's think about an NBA team. Cool, fine. Yes, your coach is going to be with you at practices. They're going to do everything. You know, they're going to be there on the sidelines at the actual game. But at the end of the day, the people you have to work with in order to win are your teammates, are your partners. So I don't need a coach or a captain. I need a teammate or a partner.
So I'll explain. So like, I don't like what I don't like what he said, because like that's not exactly what I would say. So what I like to say is, so relationships are you want to I believe in something called complementarianism. Complementarianism is the opposite of egalitarianism. Egalitarianism is everything's 50-50. Complementarianism is, I'm really good at this, you're really good at that. We're each good at our own things, okay? So if I'm very good at making money, my girl's really good at taking care of the house or something, okay? So that's what I believe in. But here's the deal. When it comes to decisions being made, only one person drives a car. There's only one person in the steering position, okay? So because of that, everything is a 51%. I make the final decision on things. Don't get me wrong. We are a team in everything that we do, but I am technically the captain, I guess, but I don't say it that way. The way I say it is, I'm driving the car. Now, is there certain things that she's the expert on and she's going to have the 51% decision on? Yes, because it's her field. It's what she's complimentary at. So she's got to make those decisions. But a majority of things are definitely going to be my control. It's definitely, I'm the leader in that aspect. But also, here's the thing. If she got pregnant, who's making the decision on who keeps the baby then? That's 51% on her. Like, I can give her my input and say I think we should or we shouldn't, but who controls that? She does. I told y'all don't stare at this chat. They're gonna get y'all's asses.
I mean,
I'll tell you.
I'm gonna be able to fuck that crying ass nigga girl because I'm masculine. Like, what?
Somebody said she gonna cheat on that crying ass.
Sometimes they're a little wild. Here, I'll get back to the questions though. What was the income that you wanted?
I'm so dead.
They getting y'all today.
For real.
Are they
Yo.
usually this hype?
Right?
Well, no, I
Yo.
made a mistake. Usually before the show, I tell all the girls, do not stare at chat.
No,
And
but
I didn't do that today.
It's intriguing though. It's intriguing because
Well,
I do wanna know the
sometimes it makes the
response,
show
but-
bad because it'll trigger you, or you'll stare at it and ignore every question I ask because you're staring so hard. So that's why it's a rule, is because sometimes it's a big issue. We've actually had a girl get so triggered that she had to leave. Like, she was like, "What?" Blah blah blah, and we were like, "Ma'am, we told you the rules," and she was just like, It's like, "All right, you gotta get the fuck out then." Like, so yeah, sometimes they trigger people bad. But yeah, what's the income that you're looking for now?
I don't have a
Oh, my bad.
specific number, kind of like everyone else. I just need you to be smart with your finances.
Mhm.
As long as you can put me in that 60, 40, 20, 20, and I get that 10 or whatever, like, just so you can make sure that I'm being taken care of. Make sure that you're making me happy at the end of the day. That's all I really care about.
10K.
I love that.
You said 10K. I mean, shit. If you're making 10K, then like that's not really gonna do much for us. But like, as long as I can be put into that 10K proportion, and you can make me happy, and we doing what we doing, whether that's the card or whether we going on trips or whatever the case may be, then that's just what that is. Like, it's not. I feel like that's kind of ignorant to put an actual number on a nigga, because like, who are you, bitch, to be putting a number on a nigga? Like, what do you make?